Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Crimson Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Quinn, joined by our other host, Julian Bonk, with today's guests, Rajan, Gandhi, and Prad, Toppay. How's it going, guys?
It's going
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Cool.
Excited to be here.
So today's episode is going to be focused on the Burns High School tennis team. Prad is captain this year, and he plays third singles, and Rajan plays second singles. So, gentlemen, to start off for today, what would you say are the goals for the year for this tennis team?
I mean, so far, I think this year we want to. I think we have a strong contention for like divisional championship, and I think we want to. That's our goal for the season. We'll see how it pans out. I think we have a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, just to win every match we can.
Yeah.
About individually, do you guys have any goals of getting better as a player in general?
I mean, as a player, I think I just want to be able to get just be a bit more consistent. Just I think I have highs and lows, but I want to bring up my lows so it more matches my highs.
Yeah, I need to be more consistent too. Playing, I've lost some, I've won some, but I think like if I can maximize as a team, I think if we maximize our wins, we can go really far.
Yeah.
So, Prad, individually, you're a captain, as Charlie mentioned. What are your strategies for leading a somewhat younger team?
I mean, with this kind of team, especially since it's a lot smaller than it has been in previous years, it's a lot more, I think, casually led. Practices are a lot more focused on what you and your partner, if you're doubles, or what you want to do if you're singles, just focusing on what you need to improve on. There's a lot of playing each other, and then there's drills that we do and we work on. But I think overall, a lot of it's just motivational, and unless someone really comes up to me asking what they can do to improve, I usually let most practices be a lot more self-run, especially than they have been in last years.
Yeah, so you mentioned that practices this year are a little more casually ran than in years past. Walk us through a practice. What's it like?
So usually when we pull up to the middle school courts around 3, we do a warm-up, and then we usually start warming up like our hitting around 3:10. After that, maybe around 3:20-ish, we practice serves and just hitting before usually we either go into challenge matches because it's still earlier in the season. We're still working out the lineup and the starting and who's ahead of who. And we even have a challenge match is still going on as solid like 3 or 4 weeks into this season. So, I mean, once that settles down and the lineups are usually more set, we'll probably just do a lot more playing or drills. And then we usually just wrap up with some more stretching and then call it a day.
Yeah. So, Rajan, what is your favorite part of being on the tennis team?
I really like our practices. I think we're very competitive. We play a lot of 10-point tiebreakers. Obviously, the challenge matches that we play, and it's really fun too. Competing against our own team, and we all get better from it too. I think that's the best part.
Yeah.
So, you're playing singles this year for the first time. What's the most important quality to playing singles as you're not on a team with you out there?
I think it's your mentality that's most important. Normally, if you play doubles, you have a teammate you can talk to and share your thoughts with. But when you're playing singles, you're alone on the court. You're just alone in your head too. You have to really get in the right mindset to win.
Yeah. In addition to the mental endurance, it's just a lot more physically demanding than doubles is.
Moving a lot more.
Singles, you're moving all around the court a lot more. You're not really in one spot, and usually the matches are just longer and the points are longer because. With doubles, usually you have a lot more of the points end, and maybe after 2 or 3 shots back and forth, unless there's a really long rally. A normal average singles rally is probably 10 or 15 shots back and forth if you're around evenly matched, and that can be pretty physically draining. So it's also just being able to keep up with that and making sure you don't start fatiguing yourself or getting yourself out of it.
Yeah. Who do you think is the team that Burns High needs to beat to prove themselves this year?
Probably our match today, Somerville.
Yeah.
I think if we're able to beat Somerville comfortably, I think we'd be able to, or at least even with the challenge, I feel like we'd have a good shot against most of the other teams because I feel like other than 2 teams that we've played before, I think Somerville's another really good team that I think we have the best shot of beating. And if we all play like I know we can, I think we have a good shot of beating them and beating the rest of the teams in our conference or division.
Yeah.
And then, since you're a senior, Prad, has been playing tennis throughout your high school career. What's your biggest lesson from playing tennis so far been?
Honestly, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is just making sure that you're able to stick through it. I think because tennis is a lot of, it's not just it's points. It gets broken down into games, into sets, and then a whole match. There's a lot of times where you can like stop like worrying about what just happened or what's going to happen, and you can reset. It's just the next point is like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard it, but it's like what it's a pretty famous quote that Federer said, where even though he's won like 80% of his matches, he's only won a little bit over 50% of his points. And so it's just a little bit about just like keep sticking through it, making sure you even if you lose 1 point, you can get the next one. And nothing's ever as impossible as it seems. You can play people a lot better than you or a lot worse than you, and there's still a chance that it can go either way, just because of the each point.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah. And now, Rajan, even though you're only a junior, I'm sure you've learned some lessons from tennis too. What are some of the lessons that you have really taken away from tennis?
I've really learned that like you can never quit, because like matches, like a lot of the times you're in really tough matches that go a long time when it's like back and forth, and you really can't let yourself get tired. You can't let your opponent like outlast you, basically. If you can stand there and never quit, like you're always in the match and you always have a chance to win.
Yeah.
And then this question's for both of you. What's your favorite part of playing on the tennis team?
Honestly, it's probably playing this. Like, I mean, I like matches, but I really like playing matches against people of our own teammates. I think, like what Rajan said before, it's just like being able to like play competitively against your friends is sometimes I think more fun than playing against other teams, because I mean, you're able to trash talk your friends. You're able to like hit it straight at them. You're able to maybe mess around. You're a lot more relaxed. So honestly, you sometimes even play better than you normally would in a match. You're not as tensed, and I think it's just a lot more. It's just a lot more fun.
Yeah, I like what Prad said. Obviously, playing matches in practice and competing, but I also like matches against other teams. I think it really like brings out like the best in everyone, because everyone wants to win. Everyone will do everything they can to win. So it just makes the team like look as good as they can as a whole.
Yeah.
If you guys, both of you, if you had one piece of advice to share with middle schoolers or even elementary schools who are looking to get into tennis and potentially play at this high school level, what's one piece of advice you'd have for them?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that with tennis, it's that there's a really large range that you can use to get better, and even if you maybe aren't the best player going into it, if you put in the work, you will be better than a lot of the kids on the team. The things that separates varsity versus JV is honestly the effort that you put in and the effort that you're willing to try to make yourself better. So as long as you actually try to day in, day out, week in, week out, maybe even just trying to make yourself better, you have a solid chance of starting. I mean, with our captain last year, Danny Nathans, he started at like maybe like middle of JV, and in 1 year he went from the bottom of varsity to the top of varsity. So I think it really just matters about just what effort you're willing to put in the off season.
Yeah. What do you think the Burners tennis team really needs to work on as a whole? How do you think they can shape themselves up to end up becoming a fundamentally sound team in the future?
I think like talking about in matches and like our actual playing skills, I think serving is a very like critical part that we as a team sometimes tend to struggle with power and placement and everything. And obviously serves start the point, so to get a good start to the point will eventually lead to winning the point. And I think as a team, if we work on that, we can win a lot more points, games, sets, and matches.
Yeah, like serving is the one part of the entire game where it's only in your control. There's nothing else that can affect it. And if you're able, serving is also the one shot that you can do to win a point, and it just ends right there. With even with returns, you're always going with every other shot in the game. You're going off of what the other person's done to you. With serving, it's all you. So it brings out just a lot more independence and the freedom to do what you want to do. And I think if we're able to improve on that, we can start off points and start off with the better mentality going through it.
Yeah. One last question for you, Prad. What are your strategies this year for ensuring that the team is able to succeed after you graduate?
I mean, a lot of what I've been doing has been, like I said, even though a lot of things are self-led, I've been trying to set a lot more, an example of making sure that you are trying in practice. And whenever I see someone maybe hit a bad shot or have bad technique, I'm always the first to go up and try to make sure that point out what they can do to improve and what they can do to hit a better shot next time. And I think the most that I can do to set the team up for a better success is just the desire to want to win, and I think the team has enough of that already. And two, just like setting up the foundations and the basics. And I think with the drills that we've been doing and the way that we've been leading a practice, I think we have strong potential to be a good team next year too.
Yeah. And one final question for both of you: is there a professional tennis player that you guys aspire to be like or look up to?
I really like Nick Kyrgios. He's one of my favorite players. Obviously, sometimes on the court he has a little bit of antics, but I think his gameplay and his style of play, he hits with power and he can really do it all. I think he's very inspirational.
I mean, since I've been a kid, I've always liked Federer. I mean, it's a pretty basic answer, but he was the most dominant player that you've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. He plays with just a level of elegance and like just he's a lot of his shots are just textbook and simple, but they're great and because of that he doesn't
makes it look easy.
Yeah, he makes everything look easy, and that's what I try to aspire to do.
Well, thank you guys for coming on to the podcast.
We
It's been a lot
appreciate
of fun, and good luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you.